This is huge. Mexico just handed over 29 cartel leaders to the U.S., including one accused of murdering a DEA agent back in 1985. But here's the big question, guys. Did Mexico finally grow a backbone? Or is this just a last-minute move to avoid Trump's tariffs? And what does this mean for the border crisis? What does it mean for drug trafficking, cartel power in Mexico? Watch this clip and see for yourself, and then stick around because we're going to break it all down right after.
To a Fox News alert today, 2 of the 29 cartel members who were just extradited to the U.S. from Mexico, including one accused of killing a DEA agent back in 1985, will appear in a New York court today.
Chanley Painter is here with all the details for us. Chanley?
Hey, good morning. So at least 2 of those defendants will be arraigned today in Brooklyn federal court, according to Reuters, including a drug lord who is alleged to have been among those responsible for the murder of a U.S. DEA agent, Enrique Kiki Camara, in 1985. This comes as Mexico on Thursday handed over 29 high-profile drug cartel members to the United States as part of an unprecedented extradition as the Trump administration ramps up pressure on drug trafficking organizations, illegal immigration, and fentanyl production. According to prosecutors, the prisoners face charges related to drug trafficking and, in some cases, homicide, among other crimes. And among them are members of 5 of the 6 Mexican organized crime groups designated earlier this month as foreign terrorist organizations by the Trump administration, guys.
Chanley, thank you very much. So keep in mind, we heard from the president yesterday that the tariffs are coming, and we're going to talk about that throughout the morning. They're going to come down hard on Mexico to the tune of 25%. And when Mexico heard about it, he started negotiating with the president, Sheinbaum, down in Mexico. So what does she do? Just a couple of days before the tariffs are supposed to go into effect, she releases these. We extradite into the United States these 29 jailed cartel members, including somebody who is at the top of the most wanted list for 40 years. She also is pulling out all the stops. They say, this is Mexico's point of view, they've arrested more than 400 people since February, after she announced that they were going to send 10,000 troops to the northern border for them. They've seized 12 tons of narcotics, coke, meth, and 120 pounds of methamphetamines and fentanyl. It's all about trying to keep those tariffs from happening, but they're happening on Tuesday.
Yeah, Donald Trump's going to hold them accountable. He wants this to end. He wants them to protect the borders. He wants them to stop allowing individuals, especially cartel members, people bringing fentanyl over, trafficking children across the border.
But the cartel can't be happy. I mean, Mexico is a narco state. And now, because of the president's pressure, their number one enterprise, which is getting the people across the border, people pay tens of thousands of dollars to get across the border. That has been totally disrupted. Now you have the Mexican president turning over the bosses because just because they're in jail doesn't mean they're not running the criminal enterprise from jail as well. And their tunnels are being sealed with concrete. I mean, it's pretty much all maximum pressure against the cartel, Brian.
Yeah, 2 of the leaders are from a now defunct cartel. They've been in prison that long. There were cartel leaders, security chiefs from both factions of the Sinaloa cartel, including their finance operatives. Because guess what happens when they're here? We get to talk to them, and we get to interrogate them. We get to unwind them, and we say we can use their conditions as a way of getting them to talk. And it also goes to show those people that are now out and functioning in Mexico. This is what you're looking at. Retribution American style. You're going to be extradited out here. You're not going to have a cushy situation where the cartels, some would say, are more powerful than the government. So this is almost an out for the president of Mexico, perhaps to get control of their country for the first time in decades.
That's right. You're going to be in a box for 23 hours out of the day, no windows, and you may get some sunlight for 45 minutes a day. That can get people to talk.
Well, so she's trying to make nice with Trump. It's not going to work because he's going to still levy those tariffs on them. But what impressed me is just the fact that the DEA has had this picture of this agent who was murdered by this guy, murdered in 1985, up on the wall. And they've been looking for this particular guy. This particular kingpin was convicted down in Mexico, and he was supposed to serve 40 years in prison. But then in 2012, inexplicably, suddenly he's out. He was recaptured 10 years later, and we've been waiting to get our hands on him, and now we've got him.
And you saw the video of him landing in New York City yesterday.
Nothing certain in the tariff world. It could change at any moment. We're a Truth Social post away.
It's a negotiation, and I like that we continue to get stuff as he uses it as a negotiation tool.
Right. The problem with the negotiation is it scares the living daylights out of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Wall Street went a little south yesterday, but then again, he could say something and it'll go straight up today.
Guys, if you're tired of the chaos at the border, you want real news that the mainstream media is not going to cover, do me a big favor, hit that thumbs up like button. All right, let's dive into this, guys. Mexico just handed over 29 top drug lords to the U.S. 2 of them are appearing in New York court today, including one that was accused of killing a DEA agent back in 1985. This is part of an unprecedented push under Donald Trump to take down drug trafficking operations. Just days before Trump's 25% tariff on Mexico, their government suddenly takes action. Mexico's president is desperate to avoid these economic penalties. And guys, it's not just about justice. I wish it was, but it's not just about justice. It's about politics. Trump's border policies and law enforcement efforts are making it harder for cartels to operate. Tunnels used for smuggling are being sealed with concrete, shutting down key drug routes. Mexico has arrested, guys, over 400 cartel members since February. They've seized 12 tons of drugs, and they've deployed 10,000 troops to the border. Now, guys, do you think that Mexico is finally serious about cracking down on the cartels, or is this just a move to keep the money flowing? Let me know what you think down in the comments, because the war on fentanyl is real. Cartels are fueling the opioid crisis here in the U.S. Drug money keeps the Mexican government deeply tied to the cartels. Many argue Mexico is a narco state at this point. Even in jail, cartel leaders still run their operations. Extradition to the U.S. cuts off their power. And this is the big question, guys. Is this the first step in cleaning up Mexico? Or is this just another temporary fix before cartels finally find a way to bounce back? Trump's hard stance, though, is working. You got to say it's working. But will Mexico stay committed to fighting the cartels? Cartels won't take this lightly. Will they retaliate? Trump has made it clear Mexico has to clean up its mess or they're going to face some harsh economic consequences. Do you think that this is enough? I mean, should the U.S. do more to pressure Mexico? Let me know down in the comments, do you think that these extraditions will make a difference? Will cartels lose power? Or will they just regroup? And guys, if you want to keep getting uncensored conservative news that actually tells the truth, consider becoming a channel member to support the show. Thanks for watching, guys. I couldn't do without you. I'll see you in the next one.